Welcome back to Law Call. I think we have Michael back on the line. Michael, if you can hear us, go ahead.
Hey, how are y'all?
Great.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Quick question. If a non-custodial parent has to pay child support to a custodial parent, and the custodial parent releases the child to the non-custodial parent, and that child alleges child abuse, what does the state of Florida Department of Revenue do in that case?
And just to clarify, child abuse by the former custodial parent?
Yes.
Okay.
So normally, at least in my experience, that the state will step in if there's been that voluntary relinquishment or transfer of custody. Then you can actually get in touch with the Department of Revenue or Florida Child Support Enforcement and ask them to modify the child support based on you now having custody of the child. I will say it's not necessarily a quick process, but if the mother has already relinquished custody, perhaps she's willing to sign something that and acknowledges that the child is with you, or some type of documentation to where you can get that into court and get that in front of the child support judge. But yes, that's typically something that does happen. Again, it's not a quick process, especially now that we're moving to the holidays, but definitely contact child support, look into that modification. Depending on the case, it might be where the Department of Revenue will actually step in and assist you with that process versus you having to do it on your own. But the documentation could be school records, things of that nature, just to show that you've had the child. And then if there's any messages maybe from the mom, or if she's willing to go ahead and voluntarily acknowledge that you have custody now, then you should be set to go to get that modified for you.
And I think the big thing that we've learned is do not disobey a court order. So when the judge says you owe child support, until a judge says you no longer have to pay child support or it's modified, you keep doing that, because I know arrears can eventually land you in jail. So do not disobey a court order, keep paying child support. I know it doesn't necessarily make sense, but it's easier to fix a process where you're out of jail as opposed to in jail.